Hey!
Are we live? You better act like it. I'm out here. I'm out here, and I'm going to open up to say thank you guys very much for tuning in. If you're wondering why I'm looking crazy, it's because I was involved in an Uber accident. And I have to say this because I have to make this clear as I talk to my attorney when they think that I'm working. This is not Reno, Tahoe, Vegas, New York. But it's a place where you can come and enjoy enjoy comedy. We're welcoming first responders and evacuees for free. And we're going to get a diamond out of Johnny B at one point, right? Give it up for Johnny B, our security, and in the house doing production. And we have so many things going on. Come on, have a seat, sir. It's only for a second. Because I have some things I have to say because of the attorney's call. So if you think this is work, you got to see what I really do when I work. All right? So I know that you're watching. I think it's terrible that I have to be stalked by another attorney when I got hit from behind as a passenger in an Uber by a car with no driver. And because I'm from Jersey, I went to jump out the car and got hit again. And there was nobody driving. Just one guy in the passenger seat. And he was Jewish, so I didn't sue. Because he was single. I have daughters. I'm kidding because you're not watching anyway. I'm telling you we're having a great time here because also this is the beginning of a wonderful, wonderful part of the LA School of Comedy where we're having an acting school coming here. We're working with Aaron McIntyre. We're working with Aaron McIntyre for the Film Actors Cafe. Now, this was originally the Film Actors Shop 100 years ago, so I'm always going to make a mistake and say that, but it's the Film Actors Cafe. And this is just not for comedians. This is for all kinds of people. You'll be surprised who walks in. By the way, I know America's sweetheart, and you know him too. Let's give it up for the interesting Mark Zaffron. Let everybody hear you. No, I'm not. Yay!
Jesus. Well, we have distinguished guests here today, Canadians.
Hey!
It's funny about Canadians. They come here, they make a living, they take money, they take your women. And the second thing is they complain that they don't get free health care. That's their biggest issue, by the way. Free health care, it's funny, though. I mean, it's a funny country, Canada, especially when you come from Montreal and can't speak French. You ever gone up there? They're worse than people in Paris. Oh, pew. How does French do it? How do they spit like that? How can they actually talk to you and spit in your face? I've never understood it. I love them, though, by the way. I much prefer, when I go there and I watch the English. The English are like the world's biggest bullies. You can believe, by the way, is Patty here?
Yeah, I second that.
Yeah, you can believe that they spent hundreds of years raping and pillaging the world. They are the world's best thieves of countries that you'll ever see. They stole India, they stole Ceylon, and they've stolen and kept most of Ireland, even though they don't want it. The only reason they stay there is to keep the Irish from killing each other. Well, at least that was their original excuse. That worked in Scotland, too, because they like to do that, too. But I'm not a comedian, I have to tell you. Though I do enjoy watching comedians on television, all right? Except for Joy Behar and the rest of the women on The View. They're kind of annoying. Though Bill Maher's been getting interesting recently. The best person to watch these days is John Fetterman. I actually have developed a new respect for John Fetterman. I think that all of our presidents in waiting should have bald heads and wear hoodies. I love this guy. The only time he puts on a tie is when he has to go to a floor vote in the Senate. But now maybe, they'll stop and they'll let him go ahead. Oh, this here. This is my Gavin Newsom look. I'm strutting around looking at the fire. The best was when I was watching a clip on television. This woman comes over, Governor, what are you going to do about XYZ? Because you can't remember what they're saying. Oh, I'm on the phone right now with the president. Really? He hasn't been there in 4 years. Now you're talking to him? He's actually giving you something. He's saying something in return. Oh, and she goes, well, what did he say? Well, I can't get reception. This is our governor. And you all voted for him, too. You voted for him, you voted for Adam Schiff. So there's really something sad in California when you get down to it. But here's the best part. The mayor of San Francisco got indicted today. Well, what's the difference? It's across the river. San Franciscans laughing over there. The difference between Oakland and San Francisco is maybe 30% less crime. All right? That's it. Anyhow, the mayor of Oakland got indicted, but then there's some great news about Karen Bass and Fuhrer. None of you lived in Westwood 30 years ago, or 20-odd years ago. There used to be these big signs out in front of everybody's house. Fuhrer stops Smedra. And I always wondered what Fuhrer stops Smedra meant until I started representing Ira. Nice guy, didn't like Fuhrer. Fuhrer was what? He wanted to be mayor, wanted to be governor, all right? Now he's getting accused of lying. Whoa, I'm shocked. And the mayor's getting accused of corruption. How do you give $700,000 to your girlfriend? Well, she can't be anything else. That's the new head of DEI for the state. She's the head of the water department. Her job is now to bring water, but where was the water? These people are burning up there. But here's the best part, and I'll leave on this little note. Not a single one of those people are getting their houses rebuilt. This is California. Let's talk about the permitting process. First thing they have to do is they have to dig up all this shit. Can you imagine digging up your house and finding dead coyotes? That was the very first place I saw a coyote was in Altadena. Here I am sitting in my car. I've never seen, I am from Brooklyn, man, all right? The biggest I've ever seen is maybe a rat that big. And there's this thing standing there looking around like, I said, it's a motherfucking coyote. And you know what? The truth of the matter is, I didn't want him to lunge at me because I didn't want him to scratch my car. So the kids come out, and I was waiting for them outside their friend's house, which is no longer there. These people, 2 generations living in this house, burned to the ground. But in typical Pacific Palisades, Hollywood, Beverly Hills fashion, it was the black neighborhood that got hit worst. They didn't have any fire hydrants. They were out there with fire hoses. One guy was out there pissing on the flames. Didn't do any good. But you think about it, none of these people are rebuilding their houses. Forget the insurance companies and everything else. The enemy is the California Coastal Commission. I can't wait until they tell Kanye West he can't rebuild his Malibu house. All right? Listen to that lawsuit that's going to go on. He's going to have that woman standing around with her bazumbas standing in front of these things. Well, it's an old word. What do you want me to say, tits? Bianca Censori, what does she have? You can't call them anything but bazumbas. All right? They have to be. They're cartoon characterish. And what's worse is they're real. Real. It was amazing. Which, of course, led me to going to the orthopedist the other day. Here I am. Now, I've been in pain for a while, which you notice. It's a little painful with my age. Climb up these stairs. You can hear my knee creak. All right. I did break. How I broke my leg is... Well, here's my wife performing at Ellen's Stardust Diner, doing a comedy show. And she drags me along, like she drags me along all the time. I walk out, there's black ice, and whoop, I go. And I say, well, I don't feel that good. I limp back upstairs, and I'm laying there until I finally call and say, this isn't good, Sunda. This pain isn't going away. I had a plateau fracture in my tibia, a separated left shoulder. Now I'm told I have some sort of terminal arthritis. I forgot the name that he called it. He didn't write it down. He just gave me the x-rays. So I'm standing. So I said, okay, yeah, I know I have fucking arthritis, you moron. So I turned around to him. I said, well, that's what Dr. Glashower told me. He looks at me, and I'm thinking to myself, you don't know Glashower. You are not an orthopedic surgeon. He's number 1 in the country. He used to be, the Rangers team doctor and the Knicks. All right? So here I am. This is how he does it. This is a trap. The doctor's office is a friggin' trap. You walk in, the first thing is all the ugly girls out taking the information. All right? Then you walk, it's nice, Asian girl comes to take you behind. Billy would love it. This Asian girl comes and then takes you to the x-ray room where these 2 giggling Asian girls, and, that God knows what the fuck they're giggling about. All right? But they're cute. All right? Then they move me to the next person, and it's a Mexican girl, and she had fake tits. I have never seen a Latino, a Latina, a Latinx, whatever, that look like this. So this goes to the next person. It turns out this is the PA, and he measures me, moves my legs, everything. He goes, let me see if I could find the doctor. I said, and maybe he can see you. And I said, what do you mean maybe he can see me? Isn't he who I made an appointment to see today? You are all the minions. So the doctor comes in, sits himself down. He's about 35 pounds, Chinese guy. Sits himself down, and he starts telling me, he reads through the list of everything he's just been told by his staff, and then he says, well, it's really just a matter, it's not critical. I said, that's interesting. All right. It's only a matter of how much pain you can take. I said, considering you're out of network, I can take a lot of pain, not the pain to my wallet that's going to be caused by getting an operation. Because he advertises he's Keck School of Medicine. You can't be working in a hospital as a staff doctor or as one of the professors without being in network. So I'm thinking to myself, what scam is he pulling, and when do I go to the medical board? At the end of the day, okay, I have to get a knee surgery, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm 70 years old. How do I amortize the cost of knee surgery? Let's see. I last for another 10 years, right? Now, the closest I come to exercise recently was a pickleball game, all right, which was interesting. So I could play pickleball with the old Altacockers, and I might be able to pull off a little shuffleboard. I was never a skier, never an athlete, never anything else. What am I worrying about? I'm not playing around the tennis. I just got to figure out the cost-benefit analysis of going in, getting an operation, being a victim of my wife and my daughters for at least 3 weeks of recovery in bed, which is terrifying, by the way, as each one is telling me another thing to do. And then I finally get up and I walk, okay. But then I'm dead soon. You think about it. You walk, you get it done. It isn't life-threatening. I mean, if you told me I had cancer, yeah, I might get the tumor taken out. But there's no cost-benefit to actually getting the knee replaced. It's like getting an electric car. I love my electric car. $7,500 in tax benefits, that was the best part. And of course, it doesn't cost a lot to run them. Why? Because the government subsidizes the electricity at those machines. If you're stupid enough to do it in your house, you pay full price. If you go to the machine over at the Chevron station, it never works. I never thought about electric cars. So the line at the electric car charging place is one of the most interesting places in Los Angeles. You see all kinds of people showing up complaining about the same thing. They all have the same thing to say. And you're standing there and you get these great stories from people. And they all pull up in different types of cars. There's the guy who pulls up in the Porsche. There's the guy with the Rivian truck. That's a big thing. That eats a lot of electricity. And then there are the people in the cheap Chinese cars. They can't be more than the size of this stage. You can lift them at one end. And they're the only ones that fill up to 100%. Granted, that's only 70 miles. But it's a nice little flivver for getting around town. I wouldn't consider it a, major car for the family. It's kind of like a station car, but faster than hell. I put my foot on Sundar's car, goes nowhere. All right? There's no acceleration, no more Mercedes for me. It's not the same brand it used to be. And to get the electric car, they made me get rid of a 2003 S430 in mint condition. All they ever did was complain that it smelled of gas. So what? It went from 0 to 60 quicker than anything you could see. And, of course, that's my story for tonight. Because in deference to the audience, I have not gotten political. No one wants a riot.
Okay.
But it is a lot of fun watching the confirmation hearings. And some of the most amazing things have come out of the mouths of these senators that I've ever seen. But I think the best was Adam Schiff's performance. It proves my point about Adam Schiff, and you don't have to dislike Trump, or dislike Hunter, or dislike Joe to recognize that Adam Schiff is a dweeb. All right, thank you. Can't find me on social media.
No, they're going to find you here. Wow, right here. At first I thought you lost her, but we're right back with the comedy of Kenzie Foster. Let's do this, Kenzie.
All right. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark.
Yes,
Not getting political when we got an election. The election's done. We got Martin Luther King Jr. Day on Monday. I'm sure he'd be very happy with what also is happening Monday. Trump is getting into office. All right. Majority of the country's behind that. Yeah. All right. I don't want to get political either. But that is what's happening. Just a few days out. It's crazy. Crazy. Probably for the best. Canada, you mentioned Canadians. Who's the Canadian? Are you Canadian? Oh, cool, man. 51st state, potentially? You guys been... Sorry, I didn't... Hell yeah. But yeah, so... No, I'm not making fun of Canada. It's just the idea. I was just bringing. It's just in the news. It's relevant. You know, I've got. But yeah, it was Canada. You know, there's a great. You know, and then potentially we might get Mexico too. You know. You see this? It'd be fantastic. The acronym, you know, Canada, U.S., Canada, United States, Mexico, come. You guys see this? We're gonna come together. You know. I don't know. It seems like a good unity. You know. All right. Anyways. Yeah. Oh man. Okay. Well, I guess while we're on the subject, I met this real dumb Canadian bitch last week. Yeah, real stupid cunt. What did she say? She lives in America, right? She's from Canada, and then she's got the audacity to say Americans are the stupid. It's like, then what are you doing here? The Americans are stupid. Then why is literally everything better? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. She was a real dumb bitch, though. I don't know. I like Canada, though. I've been to Vancouver. I love its beautiful city. You know? Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, the women. I mean, dumb. You know? Just, yeah. Anyways. What do you wait? Are you in a rush? I'm chilling. Anyways, yeah, Canada's cool. Trudeau's out, right? The dictator Trudeau, that guy. I don't know. Everybody brings up the blackface thing. This is a one-time thing. Who cares? Who cares if he did blackface? That's not the big deal. The big deal is he was blocking people's bank accounts who talked out about how he was a dictator. You know, that seems like a bigger deal than a dumb prank one time in high school or whatever. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, that'd be cool if we got Canada's resources, you know? That would make America even better, dude. You know, the boreal forest, that's a big one. That's a lot of lumber that could go to building good U.S. stuff to buy. You know, yeah, oil reserves for days, oil reserves forever, you know, and then the Mexicans with their manufacturing, you know, it would be a very powerful place. And then we might get Greenland. You see that? We might get Greenland. This is just fantastic news as an American. Fantastic news. Yeah. Anyways. I love America, man. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. And, what else? Being white is alright. You know? It's alright. You got so many haters, you know? So many haters because people from the past, they did some stuff. They took some land. That's the history of the world. People taking things from people all the time, no matter what. Oh, jeez. I don't know. Losers are gonna lose. That's how life goes. That's how life goes. I shouldn't have brought up Canada. Sorry to offend you. Sorry. Oh, I don't know. It's just, as soon as you started saying America's stupid, I was just like, okay, bye. You know? So, yeah, I don't want to sit there and argue with somebody who I don't care about. You know? Anyways, this isn't Canada. I don't know. What else? I mean, I guess speaking of Canada, weak men. Yeah, weak men. That was the topic that I wanted to talk about a little bit. I got a buddy, he's a colleague. I'm trying to help him. You know, he's been depressed for a long time, and he's got like So he's got no hobbies, and all he does is work, and his role's really boring. It's really boring job, just technical, back end, fixing paperwork shit, and sitting in an office all day. And he won't even invest in a decent chair, so he's sitting in a terrible chair, and he's got searing pain in his back all the time. He's only 30, and it's just like, dude, come on, at least get a better chair. Your job sucks. You have to sit there. At least get a decent chair, man. But he refuses to get a better chair, and he refuses to get hobbies, and he's trying to go to therapy. And the therapist got bored of him because he's a boring as hell guy. He's sad and boring. But he's got money. He's got a good job. He's over 6 feet tall. So he's still in his 30s. So it's like, dude, come on. What's your problem? And he's like, oh, therapy. I was like, dude, go join a gym. Go, I don't know, box. Do what a normal guy does. Punch a bag. Instead of complaining about it and doing nothing, like, just go like a normal guy. Just like, my job sucks. Hit a bag and, I don't know, just get it off your chest. Yeah. I don't know. He's okay though. TikTok is getting banned. Yeah, they're banning TikTok. Thank God. It's ruining the people. Yeah, it's bad. I tried TikTok. I ran an experiment. It was a week-long experiment. I signed up for TikTok on Monday. I scrolled an hour a day for 7 days. By the 7th day, I was 23% more autistic and gay. Yeah, and my support for communist shit went up. By the end of that week, it was bad. It was bad for the world, bad for everybody. Yeah, and the people, I don't know. They target you so good. They really hit you. I did this. I was 27 when I first signed up, and I was single, and I open it up, and then there's this cool guy. I download the app. I open it up, and there's this cool guy, just some dude chilling. And he's at a pool table, just chilling. Looks about my age, and he addresses the camera like a cool guy. And he's like, "Are you 27 and single?" And I was like, "Oh shit, I am." And he was like, "Well, buckle down, buddy, because you got a lonely ride ahead of you." And he hits the fucking ball, and it looks cool as shit. And it's just like right on, I don't know, cue. It was weird. They really target you well. And then the contracts between the Chinese and the U.S. when it came to the TikTok and what they're able to show and what they're not able to show, it was intentionally set up to support CCP propaganda throughout the whole thing, hence the banning. But anyway, all right, guys. I've done 10 minutes about not anything I wanted to do. Yeah. Who's? Do you want me to bring up the next person, or? Yeah, who's coming up? All right, guys. Well, let's keep this Friday night rocking and give it up for the comedian stylings of Aaron McIntyre.
God, it's so good to be in such a safe space. Jesus Christ, what is all this stuff? I'm not going to talk about politics, believe me. Or Canada, or Mexico. I think we should have them all. We should just conquer the world. I am a military brat. I don't know if anybody's been in the military or been a military brat, but it's great. It's just really great. Moving every 2 years. Just about the time you start making friends, yeah, you got to move again. I have absolutely no friends from the time I was 40. Before that, nobody, because I make acquaintances. I don't make friends because you can't. It's too vulnerable. It's very vulnerable to make friends and then have them ripped out from under you. But I was always a very weird kid. I think that was because I fell on my head a lot, like a whole lot. Over the couch. One time I dove out of a second-story window onto a doghouse. Fortunately, it wasn't one of those Peanuts dog houses that would split your head in half. It was flat. But my parents were really great. My whole family was really great about, spit on it, rub it in the dirt. You ever get that one? It's really hard to spit on the back of your head, which is where the scar was. They didn't. I fell out of a second-story window. I was totally unconscious, and my sister decided to take me up and give me a bath before they took me to the hospital because they didn't want the blood. They didn't want the blood all over me when I went to the doctor. Yeah. So living in all of those different places, like I said, I was a very weird child. So I developed this thing where every place that I would move, because I wasn't big with the chicks. Don't know why. I mean, look at this. Wouldn't you want it? Yeah. So I wasn't big with the chicks, and I got beat up a lot by the guys. And so every time I would move, I'd go, I'm going to make myself into a new person. I'm just going to become totally new. I'm going to be so cool. I'm going to be black. Because I think the black people are so cool. I mean, they can say anything. A white person cannot say anything and sound cool. Nothing. And I don't care, Eminem. No. It just doesn't work. It comes out of their mouth, and I'm going, it's fake. So anyway, but I wanted to be cool. So I'd move to this new place, and I'd get all new clothes, and I'd go to school, and I'd see some girl that I really liked, and I'd go up to her, and I'd go, hey, what's going on? And she'd look and go, are you talking to me? And I'd go, yes, my lady. Would thou carest to join me for some tea? So basically all I got my whole life was, you are so fucking weird. Didn't have a girlfriend for a really long time. I haven't had a girlfriend in quite a while now. I've been celibate now for 14 years. Of course, that's dog years. So, but I use that sometimes because it'll give me a pity fuck, I mean, and I would much rather have that than a relationship, if you know what I mean. Had one of those, 18 years, had a great kid out of it, but, yeah, it's not for me. Thank you. Also, to add on to the tragedy. Oh, when I got to say, when I fell out of the window, I don't remember anything except for like about that much air above the screen that I was standing up against, squirting my dog. What an idiot. So I fell out of the window, and it felt like I astral projected across the field, and I was looking back at the house, and I just saw myself falling over and over and over out of this window, and I realized that was just a premonition of the rest of my life. I was going to be making mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake, which is what got me here to the LA School of Comedy. So, aren't you glad? Huh? Yeah. I'm also bipolar. I'm a big supporter of mental health. I think that's a really important thing, because how many people in here are mentally ill? Everybody raise your fucking hand, because we all got some. Kenzie, you're not raising your hand. I don't see it. You're mentally ill. Come on, everybody, admit it. Huh? Okay. Well, then you're exempt. You're exempt. You get a tax exemption on mental health. Because I think everybody's got something, right? Everybody's got a little OCD, maybe a little depression, maybe a little anxiety, maybe a little bit of, Tourette's. I know when I'm driving, my Tourette's comes out big time. Somebody cuts me off, and I'm like, motherfucker! Just explode. And BMW drivers are the worst. Anybody a BMW driver? Anybody? No? Anybody has a BMW who doesn't want to admit it? Because, okay. Yeah, they're the worst. The BMW manufacturers have taken out the blinkers because they weren't using them anyway. They just kept getting in the way when they were lifting their lattes up to drink them. So they got rid of those. Don't know if you've noticed, but I'm also white. I'm also white, Kenzie. Um, and bald. And that's good because bald used to be good, right? Remember Telly Savalas? Telly Savalas and Yul Brenner. Um, yeah, and Jean-Luc Picard, you know. Not the, wait, no, Jean-Luc Picard hasn't been born yet. Patrick Stewart, yeah, yeah. But I really can't stand the people with the little top knots and the shaved sides because I think that's just a, screw you to the bald people. People who are going bald because, look, I can grow hair up here and then I'll shave off what you can't have. And I would rather have stuff up here than over here. This is nothing. But I do have to tell you, when you shave your head, it's really cold. It's really cold, man. I felt like my skull was contracting. I just felt like it was just going to squish my brain inside my head when I walked out for the first time. Yeah, so bipolar, which does not mean that I live on both poles, It's not like bicoastal, but the commute, way worse, okay? Bipolar is way worse than bicoastal. Used to be called manic depressive, which I thought was a better description of it because it really is. You just, sometimes you're just like, you feel, I would feel like I am so much fucking better than all of you, which I am. But I would think it all the time, right? I'd just be thinking all the time how nobody gets it. Nobody understands. We're all one. We're all molecules. We are part of the universe. And I literally remember sometimes feeling like all of the cells in my body, one day I could actually make them just, just disappear. And I would just disappear off the planet. And then when I would get depressed, it would feel like all those molecules were falling in on themselves and crushing me from the outside. So yeah, it's a lot of fun just going from that to that. Now I'm medicated, so don't worry. Don't worry. I'm medicated, so now it's just every day. It's just I go up, I go down, I go up, I go down. It's not 6 months of depression, 6 months of feeling like you're, the Hulk. Which is what I felt like. Are we getting fatter and uglier? I think we are. I mean, I used to drive around when I was younger, and maybe it was just that I was hornier. I don't know. But I would drive around, and it would just literally be, oh, my God, oh, geez. Especially down here at Venice Beach. Go down to Venice Beach now. It's kind of pathetic. It's really not a good thing. But, sometimes I would actually even, I'd see somebody, and I would drive around the block to look at them again, I mean, I wouldn't stalk them. I wouldn't, drive home and follow them home and then stand outside their window with binoculars or anything. But I do like beautiful people. I often look at them and I think how much I would like to be in their skin, or, depending on their sex, in them, What else was I going to talk about? Oh, yeah, memory. I have a really bad memory. It's really, really bad. A lot of times people will say, oh, yeah, me too. And I go, yeah, well, how many times a day do you walk in to get something and not remember what you went in for, then go back outside, then remember, then go back, and then forget again, and then go back and forth? I went back and forth 4 times. I actually wrote a whole paper one time. And then I was looking through my files and realized that I had already written that same paper 5 days before. So it's really getting bad. Looking around, not a lot of black people, like someone who's maybe a little, your mom is black, correct? So you are black. Okay, good. Yeah. Apparently, if your dad's black, you're not. So that's cool. That's cool. I get it. We got to make rules for the races. We got to make sure everybody stays in their lane. But yeah, the memory thing is really bad. Like one time I was with this woman, right? We're right in the middle of this incredible lovemaking because I am very good, just so you know. Anyway, we're right in the middle of it, and all of a sudden I went, what did I come in here for? And then I remembered and I came. So that was over with. My name is, I know I'm short, but that's okay. I'm done. My name is Aaron McIntyre. It's not Aaron. It's not Aaron. It's Aaron. So think of aeronautics. AARON should be Aaron because of aardvark. I mean, look it up. Don't do it now. Do it during the next comedian's bit. But ERIN is the female gay way. I'm sorry if there's any men out there with the name ERIN. I'm sorry, but I'm sure that you've struggled with it your whole life, as I have. Because every time I go into a Starbucks, that's how they spell it, ERIN. Aaron McIntyre, AERON. You can find me anywhere using that. Anywhere. Thank you very much. Let's bring up some. Oh. I could play. Yeah, I actually auditioned for it. I actually can do a monologue right now from. Yeah. Yes. Oh, I got to tell you about the classes. So we're going to be doing classes here in February. Thank you very much. We have a little prompter down here. We're going to be starting classes in February. I've been teaching for about 35 years, a little over 35 years. I taught up in San Francisco. Just moved down here 3 years ago. Got a little acclimated. Found Sunda. God damn lucky me, man. So now I got a place to teach. I have a method for knowing your lines rather than remembering them that every person that I've ever talked to has loved it, including Billy. Including Billy. Billy came. Yeah. So that would be a good thing. So, all right. So check. You could try, Aaron. You can find me at Film Actors Cafe, filmactorscafe.com. You can sign up for classes there. And you can find me at Aaron McIntyre anywhere. And right now, I would like to bring up the fabulous comedy of Billy Ramirez.
Oh, I was going to zap me. I know I was going to get zapped. Oh, a change of plans. I was going to go do my set. But we have a Canadian here. And I have a joke about Canada. What Canadian city are you from? Montreal. Wow. I mean, that's not the city that the joke is about, there's only 7 Canadian cities, really. I mean, there's Montreal, Toronto 2, Electric Boogaloo. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see. So, here's the Canada joke. I made an ass of myself recently, and by I made an ass of myself recently, that could be the last 3 days, the last 3 months, the next 10 minutes. But what happened this time was I was doing some marketing work for a finance company. I got invited to a mixer. And I was surrounded by all these really successful finance people, and they were talking, telling stories about their vacations and their homes and vacation homes. And I had nothing to say to these people. Like, there wasn't one Mario Kart player in the bunch. But at some point, I got close enough to a conversation. I overheard someone mention the city of Winnipeg. And I think I'm a creative individual. I think I can think on my feet, but I do often like being a little shit. I decided to say that I've lived in Winnipeg before. I figure, let's see where this goes. Let's test my improv skills. And then as soon as I said that, the first question asked of me was, where in Winnipeg did you live? And that's only a problem if you don't know a goddamn thing about the city of Winnipeg. Now, so immediately I was caught, and I didn't know what to do. I mean, I could have said, I lived off of Wayne Gretzky Boulevard or Stanley Cup Drive. I don't know. There's probably one of those up there, but I had nothing. First in Maine. So I don't know what excuse I came up with, but I found an excuse to get out of it and just found a corner in which to feel stupid. And then after feeling stupid, I started getting mad for being called out for not getting a chance to do something stupid, like a child who was told you can't jump off the second story or something like that. Like, I wanted to. And then I just started, just mocking the guy. Like, where in Winnipeg did you live? Like, how dare you ask such a reasonable question? Like, that's unbelievable, this guy. Where in Winnipeg did you live? And then I got mad. I was like, at one point, I started blaming him. Like, guy, take an improv class and learn how to yes and so I can be more interesting. Okay? All I was hoping for was a little something like, Oh, you lived in the Great White North, yes, and I bet you got into all kinds of hijinks up there. And then that would be my opportunity to do something like this. Like, that's right, yeah. Like, oh, did I ever tell you about the time that I suited up to be the third string quarterback for a Winnipeg Blue Bombers Canadian Football League preseason game? Now, it was Canadian football preseason game. It was a long time ago, so unfortunately, there's no footage whatsoever. But lucky for you, sons of bitches, I know every last goddamn detail. Everyone gather around. I'll tell you all about it. Like, that's all I was trying to do, you know. I was just trying to spice up a rather mundane existence, you know. It's not like I was trying to be the next George Santos or anything. Or the first George Santos, because who knows by now. Thank you. That's my Canada joke. All right. Now I got to figure out what to tell next. So I got my backup jokes. Earthquakes. I think hopefully no one had lost their house on the wildfire. Hopefully no one here died. But as tragic as the wildfires have been, I'm hoping that these wildfires give earthquakes a whole new level of respect. So, like I grew up on earthquakes. You know, wildfires. You know, they've existed forever, but things are changing. And like also, I kind of get a kick out of people like, oh, you know, I don't believe in climate change, but these fires are unlike anything I've ever seen. Like, something changed? I don't know. Anyways, like, there's a whole thing for me. Like, I'm in marketing. There's a whole thing about the term climate change. It's like and also like defund the police. Like you couldn't have chosen. That's the second worst slogan you could have chosen for your cause, and the first one was taken by NWA. You know. Anyway, so the reason I feel earthquakes deserve more respect is because they kind of just happen and leave you alone. They're kind of like a brick through a window or a drive-by, you know. And then like the following days, you might experience some, you know, smaller drive-bys and smaller breaks through the window. But basically, they happen, and that's it. Meanwhile, fires, you know, like they stalk you. You know, like earthquakes don't start like at the top of a hill, you know, where it's like, oh, you know, like how did this earthquake spread? Like, well, it started over at the top of the hill in the glass district, and it decimated the glass district, and then the winds took it over to the paint district, and it decimated the paint district. But on the upside, all the paint is mixed now, so that's nice. And then how did it get to the center of the city? Well, all right, you get this. So then the wind took it and went south through the Parkinson's district where no one noticed. And that's how it hit the center of the city. I'm committing to that one. And then wildfires are like a crazy X that just stalk you from up there, and then they just go wherever the wind takes them. And then, you know, if you finally manage to escape, they might still burn all your crap to the ground, you know. So earthquakes deserve more respect. Thank you very much. Settle down, everybody. We'll see how this one goes. I've said that I'm in marketing. I've been looking for a new job in marketing, trying to get a director of digital marketing position. Anyone out there? Anyways, and I've been sending out resumes and also cover letters, which are really, really annoying. By this point, I don't understand the point of cover letters unless you're applying for a writing job. Because, like, you know, say you have a very qualified candidate to build you a rocket, and you look at the resume, it's like, oh, you're the most qualified candidate I've ever seen in my life. But this cover letter, I'm sorry, I'm not going to hire you. Because, no, you're going to hire the rocket person because, you know, even if they have a bad cover letter. But, on the other hand, when has a good cover letter just you know, overshadowed a really bad resume? Like, has that ever happened? Like, maybe in a writing position, but like most of the time, I don't think that's ever happened, you know, where you're interviewing for a position, very important position. Someone comes up, you know, hands you the resume. You're like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. What's your name? Juice. Okay, nice to meet you, Juice. Thank you for the resume. Oh, jeebers. Looks like you haven't worked in 28 years. Is that correct, Juice? And the last job you had was running a VHS rental store in Davenport, Iowa. Is that correct? You know, I got to tell you, Juice, this resume is the worst resume I've ever seen. But on the other hand, this cover letter you wrote, to borrow a word from your cover letter, I was enraptured, okay? So just based on this cover letter alone, I'm going to offer you the job. So congratulations. Tomorrow morning, you start as head of pediatrics at Cedars-Sinai. You know, like, that's never happened. Come on. Enough with the cover letters. Canada. Canada's cold. Yes. Oh, perfect. Let's try this one. It's been a while since I've done this one. I even forgot how I started. Oh, here we go. Yes. Yeah, I know. So it's cold in LA, right? You don't think it's cold in LA, but for a Latino in LA, it's oh my God, it's. I don't understand how weather could get any colder. So I am just sorry. I'm just so I like to annoy my cold weather friends about cold days in LA. You know, like when it's like 57 degrees and it's a beautiful blue sky. You know, I'll take a photo and then send it off to my friends and I have friends Dawson Creek, British Columbia, Mill Bay, British Columbia, and Michigan and Wisconsin, even Finland. And I'll send them a photo, and it's like, wow, it's freezing in LA. And then they get this photo. It says 57 degrees, and it's cold, and it's blue and blue sky. And then immediately my phone starts to light up like a slot machine in a casino. Like, oh, you don't know what cold is, and blah, blah, blah. You use California softy. What is it? You're like 84 degrees. Why don't you put on another tank top or, and all that. And then I respond to them like, all right, settle down. I was just joking. I know you're cranky because it's cold where you are, so go put on another Saskatoon sealskin pelt or go live in a tauntaun, whatever it is you people do to stay warm. But I was just joking. Anyways, but as a Latino, the one, when we know that it's really, really cold, is just look out for any Mexican tiger blankets, right? If you ever see Mexican tiger blankets are out in a Latino household, that's how you know it's cold. If you don't know what a Mexican tiger blanket is, I will tell you. It's a thick blanket. It's got tigers on it. Sometimes there's like wolves, I believe, for a special occasion, like a wedding or a graduation. But it's usually a thick blanket with tigers printed on it that Latinos use to commemorate the occasion of it's frickin' cold. Okay, so, anyways, so yeah, it's almost Mexican tiger blanket weather, and I'm gonna bust that out and send a photo to all my cold weather friends and tell them that I hope I survive the night. But I have one friend in Michigan who's particularly, I think these jokes sting her because she gets really defensive and she'll send me, she lives in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and she'll send me photos of these giant piles of snow outside of her house. And one time she captioned it, oh, well, Michigan is not for wusses. And my response was, yeah, all right, fine, Michigan is not for wusses. But you know what else is not for wusses? Training to become a Navy SEAL. But at the end of that, you get to be a Navy SEAL. Like you, my Michigan friend, you're just cold in Kalamazoo. I don't know what to tell you. Oops. Did I unplug it? 2 minutes. All right, we'll try this one again. Legendary sportscaster Greg Gumbel passed away recently at the age of 78. And that morning, I saw a headline from the New York Post that started, "Details are limited," and then it ended with, a 78-year-old Greg Gumbel has passed away. And I would just kept focusing on that. Details are limited because no, they're not. No, I don't know who's in charge of the details, but when it comes to a 78-year-old man, you can go ahead and take the day off. If you do feel like working, maybe you can, talk about the details of how he didn't pass away, the 78-year-old man. I don't know, maybe he didn't pass away flipping his Camaro or receiving a traumatic brain injury during a kickboxing tournament or, cocaine overdose, filming Jackass 5, I'm no doctor, but if someone passes away at the age of 78, I'm going to go ahead and put down cause of death, 78. Anyways. Thank you, Aaron. That slight snickering is very comforting. My name has been Billy Ramirez. You can find me at billyramirez.com. Please welcome to the stage. What? No, I'm just playing. I don't have a rhyme for you. I'm sorry, Patty.
You don't need a natty. We got the comedy of the one and only.
No, that's your rhyme. No, that's your rhyme. I'm just like, ladies and gentlemen, please put it together for the comedy of Patty.
Give it up for Billy Ramirez.
Well, I've got an announcement to make. It may disappoint you, but my set will have no Canadian content or no Mexican tiger blanket humor. There'll be none. I'm a little depressed today. Many of you know I'm a man of a certain age, which, things happen. My urologist passed away. I've outlived my urologist, which is it's a weird earmark, and I had to go to a new urologist, which can be. Do you have a urologist yet? You will. So at some point, you will. I mean, if you're lucky. And I went in and look, I'm terminally. I was raised very Catholic, so I'm ashamed of my body as God intended. So I'm in the urologist's office and I'm waiting, and the urologist actually walks in and he says, "Take off all your clothes." So I did, and I'm standing there. I'm holding my clothes. I said, "Where should I put my clothes?" He said, "Just put them in the corner next to mine." Which I thought was odd. It was offsetting, and we don't have a relationship yet. But, I had to get a specific look. I had to get an exam, fellas. You know, some of us know the exam that I'm speaking about. It's called a digital exam. It has nothing to do with the internet. It's a digital exam, and I'm in the position, and this will kind of give you an idea. I'm literally bent over a table, and you can hear the sound of the glove being put on, and certain lubricants, thank God. And it's inserted. It's inserted. You can figure out where from my position. And I hear him say, "Whatever you do, don't get an erection." And I just looked over my shoulder. I said, "I won't." He said, "I wasn't talking to you." It's just an uncomfortable moment. It's not very comfortable. But, as you guys know, I mentioned this last week, I had sat on my balls for the very first time, which, again, is monumental in a man's life. It's different than kind of losing your virginity, but it is, in a way, similar. Because I lost my virginity to a chia pet in 1979. Which that's kind of a metaphor for vaginal grooming. Was the standards were different at the time, but I actually lost my virginity at the Schaumburg Mall, which is just north of Chicago, adjacent to the Container Store, to a Sears and Roebuck driving instructor named Verna. It was after hours, and we were on the communal massage chair. Once again, adjacent to the Container Store. I didn't work at the mall, but I knew everyone because I sold weed at the food court. And let me tell you, Verna was a beautiful woman of color, also a woman of size. Should I say, a large gal, which didn't bother me. You know what I mean? I was happy I was going to heaven. You know what I mean? But I don't like the term because it's been bandied about. Chubby chaser. I don't like it. I prefer big game hunter. Come on with it. And it was marvelous, to this day. I have fond memories of Verna and that chair. Wow! Just wow. And, I seem to be erect anytime I pass a Container Store. I have no idea why, but it's good. It's very good. Are you guys good? Are we good this evening so far? Once again, there'll be no Canadian content in my set whatsoever at all. This is neither here nor there, but I went to a new gender reveal party for an 11-year-old. Okay. My niece. I'm working with it. I'm going with it. It's a little confusing for me because I was at her bris. What are you going to do? I did meet a trans man there, a trans man, and I asked him if the testosterone helps with parallel parking. Found no humor in that whatsoever. Hey, thank you. Give a round of applause for this gentleman who's here. God bless you. What's your name, sir? Okay. Ivan, a pleasure. Give Ivan a round of applause. I'll just start my setup again, Ivan, at any time you're ready. Anytime you're ready, I'll start my just, are you guys want to catch up? That's okay. Why don't you guys just catch up? I'm just up here trying to do stand-up comedy. Who cares? You know what this calls for, Billy? Some Canadian content. Just a little, because I want to share something with you. I wasn't born here. I come from what was a shit country at the time. I was born in Ireland, in the most violent city on earth, Belfast. I almost was Canadian because we were going to come there first. You know, but I don't know if you know anything about the Irish. We're the second worst example of white people on earth. A documented fact, okay? We never conquered anyone. We don't even have an army now. We were too drunk to leave the continent for I don't know whether to find it amusing or call 911 when you laugh. I think maybe I want to get you an oxygen machine. But we almost went to Canada, you know, but Belfast was shit. It was a terrible fucking place to live in the early 70s. There were so many bombs, my mother looked forward to the gunfire. Be like, no, don't be a wee little cunt. Get out there, you queer, and play with the other boys. It's only fucking gunfire. Cunt is a minor league swear word in Ireland. Grandmothers use it. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, my uncle was killed by an Irish car bomb, which was ironic because that was his favorite drink. Long story. It's a long story, but thank God, and we almost went to Canada. And look, there's been a little lambasting that's unwarranted of Canada tonight that I'm gonna address. I'm a bit of a Canadiophile. I love hockey. I'm a big fan of comedy. Where 60% of our comedy comes from fucking Canada down here. I don't know if you're familiar with it. But we're complaining about Mexicans, people taking our jobs. It's these Canadian comedians. Jim Carrey, Mike Myers, the great Howard Berger. I just threw that in for him. That's just for him. That's just for us. And poutine. I fucking love poutine. Have you had the poutine? Yeah, fantastic. Also, I'm going to go out on a limb. Probably the hottest head of state in the history of the world. Justin Trudeau at 6'2". My God, he's like Macron from France. He's hot too, but he's only 5'8". But him, I know he's out now. He's out. He's resigned. But I just want to say something to you. No homo, no ditty here. But if I was gay, I wouldn't fuck Justin Trudeau. I would make sweet, sweet love to him. I would make sweet, passionate, fervent love to him. And you know why, Ivan? I'll tell you why. Because he's a keeper. Look at him, first of all, physically, but his whole demeanor is one we could sit down together and do our taxes together, build a breakfast nook together, you know, plan vacations. He's a fucking keeper. What do we have? We've got Joe Biden. Joe Biden. Once again, Joe Biden. Every day he gets up, he's happy. They remind him he's president. Like I'm saying, look, I voted for him. I'm going to tell you, I have a little buyer's remorse. He signed 2,500 pardons today. 2,500 pardons in a day. He accidentally pardoned John Wilkes Booth. If you're familiar with him, he was an actor/assassin. He was the only actor ever to take a president down until George Clooney. Hold on. What are you going to do? It's good. It's good. We're good. Everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. And I'm glad that I got to this country. But there is a little bit of, and I've traveled the world, there is a little bit of this American thing where it's all, we're number one. We're number one. Just shut up. Just shut up. It's fine. It's good, but keep it to yourself. There's an audacity, like, I'm going to wrap up with this for a second. There's an audacity about Americans where, like, Domino's Pizza went to Italy. The shittiest pizza on earth goes to the birth of fucking pizza and says they were done in 3 years. In 3 years, because they're not going to buy their shit. Shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? First of all, do the Italians come here and sell arms to the entire world? No, that's our fucking job. That's what we do. You know what I mean? We're number one. Number one in what? Diabetes? Yeah, diabetes. How about child gun deaths? Yeah. How about education? Number 27. That's why Johnny can't read, but he can sure as hell shoot. Anyway, some of you guys know I'm born Catholic, but I did briefly convert to Judaism, but not what you're thinking. It's Judge Judaism. I have a fetish for stern women in robes. I just something makes me aroused about a woman who can simultaneously berate and seduce me. And anyway, This has been good. You guys have been adequate, and I mean that. I mean that. Thank you for the use of the hall. And I think who we're going to bring up next, if we could have some enthusiasm, I'm going to do a mock enthusiasm, and then we're going to bring the guy up. So now I want orgasms all around the room. All right, are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Give it to me. Give it to me. Come on. We're going to bring up this next man. He's our closer for the evening, I believe. That was a little too realistic. Get that man a cloth. Let's get this guy up to the stage. He's fantastic. You're going to love him. It's Lee, the Velvet Schmeckel Schwartz. Give it up for the Velvet Schmeckel, ladies and gentlemen. The Velvet Schmeckel himself. I'm Paddy, P-A-D-D-Y-F-O-R-C-O-M-E-D-Y. God bless you, and good night.
Well, now I'm going to change my name to Velvet Schmeckel. I've decided. I made that big decision. Big decision. It was tough, you know. But, you know, I realized coming up here, I heard that as you get older, you shrink. And since I'm short, you know, what I have to look forward to is probably midget status very soon. You know, as you keep calling me up, I mean, it's harder and harder to get up this little lip. And eventually I'll go like that when you call me. You know. And it's short. It's part of my life. I've done it my whole life, been short, really. I'm going to be short tonight and I'll always be short. Short with you, always short. Just the way it goes. But my baseball coach used to tell me, you know, gather around, and he'd point to me and he says, you play short. I'd say, yes, always short. I'm always doing short. Mom would say, don't be short with me. And I'd say, how am I supposed to, I'm short. Yeah. And she'd get really mad at me, like, don't be fresh. What am I supposed to do? I'm short. Short. So I put up with a lot. I always have. But lately, the toughest thing I deal with every single day, and, you know, I mentioned this before about things I hate. Now it is absolutely Starbucks with passion, and it grows every single day. Every day. You know, it grows and grows, and it's just horrible. You know, and my toughest part of the day, the most difficult part of the day is getting my girlfriend's order right at Starbucks. You know, it takes all my brain power. Like, everything I got goes into this. And it's become just something I dread every second just thinking about it. You know, it's wearing my soul a little bit. And I, you know, deal with it. But it used to be easy. Caramel macchiato. Easy, you know. But then it all changed one day when she went up to the barrister and she's asking for this. And she's like, they said, we do anything. We do anything for you. And then everything was, oh my God. Then it broke open. My world changed as I knew it. Hell began. 150,000 mix and matches for Starbucks. So she was like, try them all, you know. And the toughest thing every day, just thinking about it makes me anxious, actually. Really pains me up. You know, and I say to myself, you know, I'm going to do it this time. I'm going to get it right. And, you know, she tells me it's complicated and involves, it's a venti. It's like there's shots, there's, you know, you have to know percentages, actually, for this. And some math is involved. So, you know, just the idea, I can feel it. It's just paralyzing. So, and I use as I said, every ounce of energy goes into getting it right. My life feels like it's dependent on. It's a strange hell, actually. So I know, it is hard, but it's hard being myself. But you know, hey, that's life. But so anyway, so she gives me the order, get in the car, and you know, I'm trying, and the trick is this, she says you can't use any aid to remember this. You know, no text, no nothing. And I said, why? Why? She says, you remember your girlfriend's coffee. Know what she likes. That's that. You don't. If you don't do, you don't prove your devotion for me. You don't care about. Oh my. Now it becomes like everything is coming down to this each day, and I mean, it's just horrible. It's horrible. But I keep myself together and I try to go down there, and I rehearse it in my mind, keep it going, and I get there, get to the barrister, and my mind just, and I come up with latte, and something about whipped cream, and I don't even remember if it's no whipped cream or whipped cream, and and as is, because all my brain power goes into remembering, I don't even try to get myself a cup of coffee. It's not even worth it. And then it becomes, I tell her what it is, and then it becomes even more complicated because I guess what she wants, and by some stab in the dark, and also the barristers, they're kind of ditzy, really. And so there it goes. They forget whipped cream, and it becomes like a nightmare every single day. Toughest part of the day. That's it. Once I'm through that, everything's easy. But part of my life.
Right. We love it. We love it.
But and I come home to a wonderful golden retriever, happy as a pie, on happy speed. I think they go crazy. And no matter what you do, they love you. I mean, unconditionally. It's great. But I'm getting sick of it. I'm really getting sick of it. Same greeting every time. Like, I love you. You committed a crime. Love you still. You have blood on your hands. Love you. And it's the same thing. No standards. Nothing. Nothing. I need an animal that, I looked at breeds that are just indifferent, kind of doesn't, and maybe more judgmental, get my life together. What's wrong with you, Lee? And I'm thinking, nothing I came up with, and I'm thinking, cat. That's it. Because I'll come in, won't want to greet me, very indifferent, go over to the cat, he's in, cat be like, I know what you did today. I know what you did. See right through, you got this guilty look on your face, probably did something horrible. Don't even think about asking to pet me. Don't even. And you got like dirt on your hands, you've been burying bodies or something. It's like, in fact, never pet me again. And that's a cat. Maybe to help my life, get my life together. Say that golden retriever, everything's dandy, everything's wonderful. Give me a biscuit. I don't care if you, committed any felonies. I don't care. Just give me my food. But I started a new job and hosting. I host now Saturday nights at a restaurant. I can't say the restaurant. And I'm just getting used to it. Saturday nights are crazy. I get flustered so easily. And, and I have to say the table, which table. It's part of my job. And I try to articulate it perfect, And each time it comes out like, party of two. And then people come over like, what? And now that they get mad at me, and I'm really trying hard, because it's not me. I say that, and I tell them the next time you're here, okay, think of your name as garbled, as unintelligible as possible, and when you hear that name, come over, and that's you, like that. And I said it's not my fault, I do my best. I'm doing my job. I try hard. And it doesn't seem to work out. Never it does. But I keep pressing on, whether it's Starbucks or whether it be dealing with, my golden retriever. I'll make it through. But thank you. Thank you all for listening, and I really appreciate it.
And where do we find you?
find me at Lee.Shorts, dot 585 forward or backwards dot 1234. And if you somehow manage to find this, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lee Schwartz, you've got fans. And that, where is that middle-aged muchacho? He went up already. So I'm going to bring up another muchacho. Let's bring up the one and only Ivan. Ivan's coming to the stage. You coming up? ¿Cuándo? Ivan, sí, él habla español. Tu amigo de Aviva, y yo. We met at a restaurant, remember?
Yeah, we met at a restaurant and
He works here. Yeah, tell him.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Stay behind me, okay? This is my dad.
You know we met. Oh, are we live?
You're still alive.
Okay, wait a second. Yvonne, I'll tell you guys later. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that to you. But anyway, guys, we're here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Listen, if you love comedy, if people tell you think you're funny, you probably are, but you won't know until you make it from the page to the stage. And also, you actors, here's a place for your self-tapes. Here's a place for your coaching. And here's your place at the Film Actors Cafe. Find him at filmactorscafe.com. Aaron McIntyre, I thank you. And our Director of Marketing, Billy, the middle-aged muchacho Ramirez, thank you. And Johnny B on the board, thank you. All right, everybody. See you Monday. Good night.